David Wilcock update Cosmic Disclosure, Secret Space Program Insider debut videos. Yes. See the first 4 videos of Cosmic Disclosure, Secret Space Program Insider Corey Goode being interviewed by David Wilcock in a groundbreaking tell-all expose. This is the story that has taken the UFO community by storm. Goode is the most significant, in-the-know insider to have ever come forward publicly, by far. Now you can watch him field a variety of questions in a fast-paced, invigorating series of interviews with David Wilcock, and decide for yourself if this is really true. Don't miss it. Exciting changes are ahead. Before the avalanche of Snowden disclosures, many people still thought their own virtual world of electronic communication was a private place. Passwords were secure. Cloud data encryption was actually encrypted. No one was spying on you, reading your emails, spying through your camera, etc. Now it is common knowledge that a vast infrastructure of surveillance is in place. Every single thing we do is being data mined and stored. And for what? To defend against Arabs with box cutters living in spider holes and doing jumping jacks with AK-47s? Why do they care what you say to your loved one? Is it right for a horny NSA guy to listen in on your phone sex? To pass naked photos of you around the office? Is there any accountability? How do you know if your latest batch of sexting isn't the talk of the town in some shadowy secret facility? Who do you call to complain? If what Corey Goode is saying is true, and it lines up beautifully with all of our top insiders over the years, then this is just the tip of the proverbial iceberg. Sci-fi movies have more truth than anything else we ever get to see. Our military-industrial complex has already colonized our solar system, and beyond, with tech as advanced as any sci-fi movie we have ever seen. Anti-gravity? Check. Free energy? Check. Stargate travel? Check. Time travel? Check. Materializers? Check. Energy medicine? Check. Faster than light propulsion? Check. ESP and telekinesis boosters? Check. Hyperrealistic virtual reality holodecks? Check. The only limit is our imagination. This list can go on and on. Our technology has already progressed to the point where the only limit is our imagination. And soon enough, the walls of secrecy will collapse, and we will gain access to all of this knowledge and power. The gripping, seemingly impossible crises that plague our world can all be solved, much more easily and beautifully than most could ever imagine. Hope is not irrational. Hope is an informed perspective, the fruit of those who have done their homework and understand the nature of the universe. This is all part of a much greater change. These technological advancements are only one aspect of a much greater energetic change that is happening to all of us, causing the rapid evolutionary leap to take place. This is not foolish conjecture, though many are far too willing to jump to the conclusion without studying the data. It is supported by a vast wealth of scientific evidence. The case is so remarkably interconnected that no debunking can ever be successful. Writing a few hateful words and nitpicking one small point, or one single article, obviously feels very satisfying to some people, or they wouldn't do it. Soon enough, the truth will become obvious. The skeptics will be quite embarrassed and humiliated at first, but will soon say they knew it all along. Our own contribution to this vast mosaic includes the source field investigations, the Synchronicity Key and over 130 episodes of the Wisdom Teachings video program. And now, the first 4 of a series of at least 52 videos with the insider Corey Goode have been released, as Cosmic Disclosure. Skeptics say the government can't keep a secret. Yeah, right. If the Snowden disclosures haven't already convinced you that the government absolutely can keep a secret, then consider the Manhattan Project. This was the hyper-classified program that developed the atomic bomb. It began in 1939, and ultimately employed over 130,000 people. Not one of them ever squealed. It was so compartmentalized that most of them didn't even know what the heck they were working on. The whole thing remained completely a secret right up until the bomb was dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombs amazed the workers of the Manhattan Project as much as the rest of the world, Newspapers in Oak Ridge announcing the Hiroshima bomb sold for $1, $13 today. Although the bomb's existence was public, secrecy continued, and many workers remained ignorant of their jobs. One stated in 1946, "I don't know what the hell I'm doing besides looking into a dash, and turning a dash, alongside a dash. I don't know anything about it, and there's nothing to say." Many residents continue to avoid discussion of the stuff in ordinary conversation despite it being the reason for their town's existence. Another worker told of how, working in a laundry, she held a special instrument to uniforms and listened for a clicking noise every day. She learned only after the war that she had been performing the important task of checking for radiation with a Geiger counter. Highly compartmentalized, so yes. The government can keep a secret. These programs were so compartmentalized that the vast majority of the people working in them had no idea what they were doing. A 1945 Life article estimated that before the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombings probably no more than a few dozen men in the entire country knew the full meaning of the Manhattan Project. Perhaps only 1,000 others even were aware that work on atoms was involved. The magazine wrote that the more than 100,000 others employed with the project worked like moles in the dark. Warned that disclosing the project's secrets was punishable by 10 years in prison or a $10,000, $131,000 today, fine. They saw enormous quantities of raw materials enter factories with nothing coming out. They monitored dials and switches while behind thick concrete walls mysterious reactions took place without knowing the purpose of their jobs. Hypnotic language used in propaganda posters to keep people in line. This next poster was from the Manhattan Project facilities at Oak Ridge National Laboratory. Insiders such as Pete Peterson have said that hypnosis works best when you use very simple sentences with very simple words that make direct commands. It works even better when the sentences are repetitive. If you can make the commands rhyme as well, that is the best of all. This is why both chanting and musical songs can be so effective at modifying public opinion towards a desired outcome. With that in mind, consider the wording of this poster. This was just one of many ways in which the staff were threatened into silence. Quite the operation. The Manhattan Project ran from 1939 until 1946. It cost nearly $2 billion, $25 billion in today's dollars, and employed over 130,000 people. Multiple facilities all over the U.S. were dedicated to developing this technology, with only a few dozen people having any idea what it was all really for. Yet, the scope and power of this program, developing a technology no one had ever seen before, nor even imagined could exist, was quite vast. Here is an organizational flowchart that only encompasses the very highest levels of this enormous command structure that remained totally secret for 6 years. What if it never stopped? What if the same initiative, to develop hyper-advanced technology under a veil of the strictest possible secrecy, never ended after World War II? What if it simply went even more secret than it already was up to 1946, a year before the infamous Roswell UFO crash in New Mexico? What if the unrelenting might of the military-industrial complex President Eisenhower warned us about in his closing address was already involved in something much, much bigger? What if advanced extraterrestrial technology had already crash-landed here? What if the reverse engineering of this technology gave our power elite the ability to fly through our solar system as easily as hopping a plane from JFK to LAX? What if they started building settlements on other satellites, including the Moon, Mars, certain asteroids and other moons as well? What if they began mining for raw materials in our solar system, finding everything they would ever need, and set up a vast industrial operation off-world? What if the beings that were allegedly captured and interrogated in the Roswell crash were only one of a variety of intelligent civilizations our government began trading with? So many unanswered questions. The problem with the UFO phenomenon as it stands today is there are so many unanswered questions. So many different types of craft. So many different types of beings that people swear, upon pain of total public humiliation, that they were contacted by. Someone must know what is going on. And not just a part of it, but the big picture. I have dedicated most of my life to finding these people ever since hearing my first NASA insider testimony in 1993. Just like the Manhattan Project, there are only a small number here on Earth, perhaps no more than a few hundred, who really get it. The rest of us are like that woman holding her wand out, hearing it clicking and having no idea what that even means. That all changed when Corey Goode came along and bravely risked his life to tell us the truth, once and for all. Now watch the video. Now let's get to the good stuff. After filming Corey privately in early April, I was drowning for months in a never-ending learning curve of Adobe Video and FX products and a mountain of plugins and After Effects scripts. This was part of an ongoing initiative I have been actively pursuing since early 2014. It took almost a year to even begin to feel like I knew what I was doing in the FX arena. Many efforts were attempted in the past without visible success. People wanted thousands of dollars for something that took a few days of work once the needed skills are involved, and we could not afford it. Feeling completely overwhelmed, GAIM offered Corey and me to come in and film a few episodes of him talking on camera and revealing what he experienced in the secret space program. Neither Corey nor I could have ever expected we would then be asked to film at least 52 half-hour episodes, one per week for an entire year, but that is what happened. A picture is worth 1,000 words, and a video is worth 1,000 pictures. So enough talk. On with the show. How to see more. The first episode is free and distributed widely on YouTube. The second video is free for all on the GAIM site. The third and fourth episodes are included among 6,000 other titles, including over 130 episodes of my epic show Wisdom Teachings and George Noory's Beyond Belief, on the network. It is indeed the Netflix of enlightenment, for body, mind and spirit. You can get in now for 99 cents for the first month. If you are in a country where credit cards often do not work, such as because of zip code validation, we now have full PayPal functionality. You can also download the videos and save them to your hard drive, as a member, if you are having connection or playback problems. I make no more off of this show than Corey does. Your support of this work helps protect both of us. Corey gave up a high six-figure income to come forward as a whistleblower, and your subscription will help stabilize his family in this new role he has taken on. A small, equal amount of funds from each subscription goes to each of us. This steady income allows for enough stability to keep working. Chewing off the foot to get out of the bear trap. Conferences definitely generate more funds in a short time than a show like this could, unless it becomes extremely popular. We have no conferences on the schedule for a reason. The greater effort for disclosure that is now at hand is more important than generating funds. I have taken this time off to ensure that my goals are reached, so you can see more and more of this information at higher and higher levels of quality. If you are already a subscriber, and many of you are, then I thank you so much. If you are not, I am coming over there right now. And all I will ask you is, why the heck not? LOL. Have fun and enjoy the show. This is all building up to an epic cosmic disclosure that will be known to everyone soon enough. Remarkable buzz. You may not believe any of this yet, but Corey Goode is convincing enough to have gotten the entire GAIM corporation behind him. The comments and feedback from the initial round of viewers have been truly remarkable. There is every reason to believe that the Blue Avians now helping the SSP Alliance are the visible manifestations of the source that wrote the Law of One series. You can see an animation of Android Jones' first ever illustration of the Blue Avian form, with precise assistance from Corey, in the above debut video. My first ever tip-off to the existence and importance of the Law of One series was from Lieutenant Colonel Donald Ware, retired. Don wrote the last of 6 essays in Michael Lindemann's 1991 epic, UFOs and the Alien Presence, 6 Viewpoints. Although the others, from Stanton Friedman, Linda Moultonhowe, Bob Lazar, Bud Hopkins and an abductee named Tom, were amazing, Ware's essay was off the charts. He talked about how the Law of One tied together all the most highly classified insider info he had ever come into contact with. If it wasn't for Ware's mind-blowing endorsement, I may never have been led to study the law of one in the first place. Don says the getting is good, and now, the gift-giving circle is complete. Ware sent me an email that went out to all of his subscribers, and in it he said the following: must-see TV. Cosmic disclosure. I thank David Wilcock for expanding his consciousness rapidly over a couple of decades so he would be ready to be such a skilled interviewer of those amazing people introducing humanity to the Golden Age. Lieutenant Colonel Don Ware, July 22, 2015. Lieutenant Colonel Don Ware retired. Update next afternoon. Did it again. We are here taping more Cosmic Disclosure episodes in Boulder. I am on lunch break and came to check the hit counter. Not surprisingly, Synchronicity did it again. The hit counter was at 12,444 right when I checked, with 2,249 Facebook likes. It is moving so fast that just a few seconds later it had already increased by another 150, so this article is really picking up speed. Again, we thank you for your support in helping get the word out, and to co-create the Golden Age.